Hey, Snowdrops. So, it's late-ish for me. 9:41. I ain't got school tomorrow, so who cares? So, I was supposed to go live a couple days ago. Like, well, it's the 20th right now, so like 6 days ago. To explain the characters choosing their author. And, because I didn't go live and do that. Oopsies. We're gonna do it here. So, honestly, characters choosing their author has always been kind of a concept for me because I have never really actually had to think much about any of my characters. Like, yeah, Snow was my first OC, and I kind of came up with her when I was a lonely little 3rd grader. But she was the only character that I kind of had to work to come up with. And then after that, her whole world just basically fell into place. But I still feel like she chose me in a way. Because, honestly, that character, she is so special to me. And I'm not trying to get emotional, but just with her being my first character, she's already, like, that makes her so much more special than any of the others. I know I talk so much more about Alex than I do everyone else, just because Alex's Adventures is the story that I work on the most, and I'm gonna get to that in just a sec. But Snow is, gosh, she is me if I was a fairy, pretty much. I mean, aside from the fact that she has royal blood, I'd just, start a mutiny and take the throne. But, like, Snow is like a child to me at this point. I have watched this character grow and change, and initially she started as a human girl that learned that her mother was actually a fairy, which is kind of where I got the concept from Mia. But we're not even gonna start talking about that because me saying Mia as a fairy didn't come along for a while in Alex's Adventures till I decided I needed some form of drama. And honestly, Snow's story, hers was the first one that I ever actually worked on. Aside from one character who we will not speak of. She shall not be named. Because that didn't go well. But I will say, let's say if we can get this to at least 30 likes, I'll explain it. I'm gonna regret saying that, but she won't be named in this. She'll get her own video if I do anything. But honestly, have that first character that I wrote for, because again, Snow has been a concept since I was in 3rd grade. This character wasn't a concept till I was in 5th, so that's a 2-year difference. And like, yeah, she was the first one I wrote for, but Snow has always been my character. Like, Snow has always been a part of me. Meanwhile, she who will not be named was just a project for 5th grade ELA, pretty much. Like, don't get me wrong, I feel bad saying that about a character. But, like, I did not have near as much of a connection as I do with Snow. Because when I started actually working on Snow's story in 6th grade, so I started working on Snow's story right after I had a concussion. And that is when my parents finally really told me that I have Tourette's. And we have me on medicine, which is why it's not as noticeable. And so the first thing I did when I started writing, I told myself that I wanted Snow to have Tourette's because I knew that I didn't want to have this perfect little fairy queen that could do everything. I wanted her to have problems and conflicts. And I think in the original version, I did mostly succeed in that. Then I lost those stories, and I remember that day vividly. It was Wednesday of Revival, 2012. Or no, 2023. 2012? Where did I get 2012? This is what the sleep-deprived author, this is why I need sleep. I'm not getting any though, because I got writing to do. I also gotta switch necklaces while I'm talking, So I just realized that I still have this one on. And one, I don't match my shirt, and I'm getting sidetracked. Focus, right? What was I talking about? I already covered that. Oh, right. But so, I remember that day. My church's youth group went to the movies to see Minions Rise of Gru. And I took out my phone to work a little bit when I realized that I had lost everything. 2 stories, like 40 chapters. I lost it all. And I kept trying to log in, and I couldn't get into the right account because I can't remember passwords to save my life. I finally get into an account, and it's not the right one. So instead I start furiously typing, and to this day I will forever say that the first 12 words, the main character, she didn't have, dang it, I put them backwards too. She didn't have a name or a story or a concept of how she would look. But the first 12 words, I was running through the forest with a fae on my trail. And those will forever be freaking ingrained in my brain. Because that's the day Alexandra Theodorovna Celespade was born. Yeah, her name's a mouthful. And that's where we get to talk about Lexi. Her story is the one that I'm currently working on, which makes it very important to me. I'm on book 7, and that's something I am very proud of, seeing as I lost all but 2 of her stories in a similar situation of what happened to Snow's. But I was smart enough to save the first 2 to my notes. So I emailed them to myself, uploaded them on Google Docs, edited them so they were in a half-decent format. And now I have her first 2 stories. I had to write everything back from what then was 3 to 6, and a lot of things changed. But the one thing that I never let change, no matter how much I worked on it. Sorry, is that actually loud? I feel like it's loud. But the one thing that I never let change is the fact that, 1, Snow and Alex both had their respective Kaylee. And that's because my older sister has been there through so much for me, honestly. And then the only reason that, and then I gave Snow her respective versions of my younger siblings. But I didn't want to do that to Alex because Alex isn't the same as Snow. I personally see Snow as more of a what would have happened if the accident my dad had when I was younger turned differently. And Alex is more of like, oh yeah, no, my dad's actually a private investigator. He was never a painter. Well, like, he did building and stuff, but he also did a lot of painting, which is how he had his accident. That's a story for another day, trust me. So there was only Alex and Kate. And then the other thing that doesn't change, no matter how many times I will ever have to rewrite any stories, is that Snow and Alex will always be like sisters because they are both mine. They are my creations, and in my personally for me, they are sisters. Because they are both kind of iterations of me in the stories. And that's where I get the concept of choosing your character. Both Snow and Alex, they found me when I was going through crap. And they, honestly, more than me creating a character, because like I just said, Alex didn't have a freaking name when I started her story. She was just there. Which is why, even though Snow will always be the most important to me, Alex, I feel like, is the first character to have truly, like, chosen me and outright made it obvious, kind of. Meanwhile, Snow just, like, integrated herself into my life and was like, hey, so I'm here now, and you're not getting rid of me. I'm always going to be in the back of your mind. So, yeah, there's that. And then honestly, those are the only two self-insert characters I have that I would say really chose me, that I currently work with a lot. But then there's also characters like Sola, who I would say she kind of chose me, but in a much more weird way, because Sola was supposed to be the name for a sun-based character. Well, I hate to wear yellow and orange, and I have enough characters that wear red, so I couldn't do that. So we did, so, well, I say we, so I decided to do a moon-based character. Well, I'm like, I don't know, because I've got Luna already, and Celeste, and, well, that's more of a sun-based name, but like Celestial, you know, that type of stuff. Sorry, y'all, I'm kind of fidgety, I know. So I just said, you know what? We're gonna twist this up. We're naming her Sola. And so she just kind of came to me, again, she is a character that came to me at a low point, and I'm not gonna talk about that low point, because that's still a bit more sensitive to me. Who else? Vita. She kind of, hers was more of an interesting thing. I was sitting trying to think of characters that would fit in with a certain set of characters that I already have. And my brain said, why don't we just create a whole entire world for characters like this? And we'll connect it to the other worlds, how we have all my other crap, which I've got to film that Magic World video, because the live, I just kind of ranted about Lexi and Snow the whole time. My bad. But, so, I'll try to put that in the description whenever I actually get around to filming it. But, so, yeah, Vita was kind of like the first of those characters to appear, I guess you would say. And she was, honestly, her character, I see her as more of, like, very playful, like, okay, listen to Epic the Musical. She's kind of like the wind. She's like, yeah, I'll play games, but also you might want to heed my warnings. Like, that type of stuff. And then, you know, I'm going to sit down because I'm lazy. Then, honestly, I think next we would kind of have the Blue Fate, who... So I was struggling with Alex's Adventures for a little bit because I couldn't write it at school since I couldn't have my Chromebook out 24/7. But I was allowed to have a notebook out. So I didn't want to work on Alex's Adventures on my computer and my notebook because I knew something would end up conflicting itself. And then I'd have to either fix it or pick, and I don't do good with that. I had like a 5-minute mental breakdown one time trying to decide if I wanted to keep after I lost books 3 through 6 with Alex. I kind of had a mental breakdown trying to decide how I wanted to fix it. But yeah, so with the Blue Fate, I kind of decided I want to do something different. And then her character just kind of came to me. Crystal Evermore. Which, not a name I need to be exactly revealing yet. But Crystal Evermore, Elizabeth Brown, and Carson Moon Knight. Don't need to be revealing those names, but here we are. And then I think, aside from that, Opal is a character who kind of chose me more than I chose her. Because her concept really just popped up. It was like, you know what? Alex's ring is magical, right? Why can't it have a person in it? So yeah, suddenly the Sapphire Flight was born, and then she has the Opal Sight as her daughter. There we go. I'm tired. And then I think outside of that, all of my other characters except for Chirina are kind of more based a little on people that I know. I'm not going to be naming names, of course, aside from, again, Catherine and Autumn. They're both based on my sisters. Cece is based on my great-grandmother and some other stuff, but I'm not going to go too far in depth with that. But yeah, so, and Chirina, hers is a whole nother story, because she and her little sister, who I think would be best described by my baby sister, really. They are my only Christian characters, so they're very special to me in a sense that they are really two of a kind in my universe. Yeah. So that's really it. I don't know why I sat down. It was only for like 5 minutes. So I gotta get that other video I mentioned filmed. So I'm gonna go for now. But yeah. Bye, Snowdrops.